Good morning, welcome to day 92 of my Munro challenge. Today I'm walking route number 94, 3 Munros, 2 days that I'm trying to squeeze together. There's Ben Akawata, Hill of the Field by the hard water, Ben Creachan, which is Hill of the Rocks, and Ben Vanakk, which is Hill of the Monk. And parked in the car park on the roadside, which is not shown on the map. The car park's actually shown further up the road, but yeah, I think it's been relocated. Let's get on with it. We're coming back down this track later on today. As you can see, a sign here pointing us up to the hill. So the plan is to cut up there under the railway line and cut back, and we'll head up the glen through the gap, and the Munro's hidden in the background so you can't see the first Munro. I'm just looking back over the very squelchy path that I've just followed. Very boggy. You can see some motorhomes parked in the car park where we're parked, just on the side of the A82, the main road over Glencoe, as you can see, heading up there. So we're heading up to the railway line, which is just round the corner, and then we're going to go up that glen, up to that Beinn and then beyond. So I'm much closer to that Beinn now. You can see this stalker's path that I've been following. It skirts the side of the burn, and it should take me up to the top of that gap, and then after that I may get the first sight of the Munro. We'll see. So I'm at the cairn at the top of the Beinn. I've just realised that's Beinn Achaldair. We were there the other day, a couple of weeks ago, and that's Ben Creachan. So they do say all these 5 can be linked together. I'm heading round the corner. And after that we should get the first sight of the Munro. So I'm contouring round the side of this hill, and that's Beinn Achaldair there, which isn't the Munro. Our Munro's the other side of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to skirt round the underside of that, and then we're going to ascend our Munro. That's high enough to be a Munro, but it's not, it's just a top. So the plan is to head up to the left hand side of the hill. There's a Beinn around there which we can't see yet, which will take us up to the Munro. So I'm going to kind of skirt round the underside of the hill to head up towards the Beinn. It's all pathless, so I'm just going to head up the in the general direction of that left hand corner. So there's a line of fence posts here heading up the side and then skirting left to the direction I want to be. So I'm following these fence posts for now, which is very good, and I can see somebody ahead with a similar idea, I think. So here we are, first view, Ben Vanakk, and these fence posts have been a godsend. They've taken me up to the Beinn. Now we're going to make our way to the summit. So here we are, Ben Vanakk. Wow, look at this. This is awesome, isn't it, Stan? Wow, that took some doing. A bit squidgy underfoot, pathless. So look what we got over there. I remember that day. That's Craigvaux. God, that was a buggy day. So that'll be Ben Vanakk. Wow, that was a brutal day, that one. So we're heading back over there now. So I'm back at these fence posts. I'm going to follow them pretty much all the way back down to the bottom. So the plan is to drop down to the bottom, go straight up the other side to the top of that grass bank at 1,002 meters, and then we'll skirt across to the top, which is 1,038 meters. before we drop down to the next Beinn. So that's a short-term plan. That seems ever so far away at the minute. Just looking back over first Munro. Wow. So we dropped down to the bottom down there, and I'm cutting up this really steep bank. I'm cutting across diagonally. I've just got to this shoulder here, and it looks to be easing off ever so slightly. It needs to. So we're up on the ridge line, and Ben Akawata is just hidden. There's something just over there. Stan's just seen a deer. And then we'll follow the ridge down right the way over to Ben Creachan, right over there. Don't you just hate it when there's potentially two tops? Now the other one's the top over there. Just in a quick map check. 10:38 the other one. So here we are, Beinn Akawata. I'm hoping the gap between the second and third Munro is a lot easier than that between the first and second Munro, but we'll see. So that's Ben Creachan over there. That's where we're off to next. Just following the ridge down. So over there, that's where we were the other day. So we had so this near one is Stob Corridor, and then the far one will be Stob Agor. We went up the buttress and went all the way around the houses to the back of Creachan. We dropped down to that Beinn and up to Milavori. That was a big day. Looks to be a bit of a drop down there to the Beinn. Apparently it's sheltered, so I'm going to grab a sandwich down there. You can see the path going up the other side. It's a little bit scrambly, only mild, but what a great picture this is. Very steep. You see the path, very, very, very steep down to that Beinn. So I'm just looking back at the second Munro. You can see how steep the path was coming down through them rocks. We're heading up here now. This is not as steep, but it's still a steep pull. But we've got a path this time, so it's better than we had earlier today. So this is Meal Budi. It's 960 metres, not a Munro. It's a top en route. There's the Munro over there. You can see there's no real drop to the Beinn, so I'll give them this one. Although it was a toughish climb. You see where we've been? First of the day over there. Second of the day over there. I think there's somebody stood on the summit. Two people actually. And this is where we're heading. When you're stood at the bottom of this last climb, you think, that looks steep. And it is. Aren't they always though? It wouldn't be a Munro otherwise, would it? Wow, it's been a long day. Such that top. So we'll head back down that way to show you where we've been. That's Munro number 2. That's Munro number 1. Awesome. Wow, look at that for a view. So we're dropping down this shoulder now. Just look round, you can see the top up there. So I'm just dropping down to this shoulder, then we're going to cut round and drop down to that burn which is being fed by that locken, and we're going to skirt down the side of the burn down towards the railway line and the river. So I'm just looking back up. I've followed the ridge down. I've just turned off the ridge now. There's a faint path here, which will loop round, as I said, towards the burn coming off the tributary, which is what we'll pick up and head down the glen. That last section was pretty much pathless, but you drop down to this burn. Excuse me, you cross the burn as we have, and here we are. We're on the path now, heading down towards the river and the railway line, which is where we need to be. We're at the railway line. Wow, that path was quite a nice little path actually. So I've just crossed the river here because it's a reasonably good place to cross. I do believe that this river can get in spate and is impossible to cross, so I think it's one of those that you got to be careful. Just looking up at the last two Munros, looking a bit special up there, aren't they? Wow. I'm following this track now back to where I parked the car, so I think I'm going to be on it a couple of miles. So that's the Beinn Mhanach that we're headed up to first thing this morning. Now there's a sign that I talked about a couple of weeks ago, which I took literally and decided I couldn't do this walk. I've since had advice saying we can't stop you taking dogs on land in Scotland, so consequently we've done it and nobody stopped me. Hi, welcome to day 92 of my Munro challenge. Today I walked route number 94. It's Sunday the 29th of May. I parked in a car park to Achaldair turn off to the farm. There's a new parking area being built. I think it's to avoid people parking at the farm. From there's a sign pretty much saying to the hill, I think it said, and you follow a very boggy path under the train tracks eventually, and then you follow up the glen all the way up to a Beinn Mhanach. It's quite a well-defined path in the main, although you do have to cross the burn several times on the way up. I like walking up to most Beinn Mhanachs. It seems to get steeper towards the end. It's quite a broad Beinn Mhanach. Now I went straight over the back of it, and I picked up a very faint path which traversed and contoured all the way around to the other side of the glen, really. So I could then drop down to the burn in the bottom and make my ascent of Ben Vanakk. Now this was going to be pathless, but I did spot on the map that there was a fence going up to the Beinn Mhanach I needed to be at. So I found well, it's now fence posts, but I found the various fence posts, and it actually took a lot of the gradient away. It's probably the best way up, just following the fence posts. Indeed, I followed them all the way back down again. Ben Vanakk, what a great little hill. Quite tough really. It took quite a while to get there, because you got the first climb up the Beinn Mhanach, then a long traverse, and then another pathless climb. So it took a fair while to get there. As I say, then you retrace your steps. I followed the fence posts all the way back down, quite a long way back down to the valley bottom. And then I had a very, very steep ascent up to the ridge when Ben Akawata is at. It's quite a wide, there's a wide ridge where it's at, so I went to the southerlymost point, which is just over 1,000 meters, but Ben Akawata, I think it's up at 1,036. So you need to, once I'd got there, then I needed to follow the ridge all the way to the top. And what a top! It's a fabulous top, great views looking across at Creachan and all the various other hills I've done. Thoroughly enjoyed the top. It was quite rewarding. From there you drop very, very steeply. Actually, it took me by surprise how steep. A bit of a scramble down to the next Beinn Mhanach. quite a drop, and then you're at the bottom and you start making your ascent. Well, there's 2 ascents to Ben Creachan, 2 steep ascents as well. Not as steep as the drop to the Beinn, and indeed not as steep as the pathless climb up to Ben Akawata, but it's still steep. So first of all, you go up to Beinn Mhanach, and then a slight drop, and then you've got the second climb all the way up to the top of Ben Creachan. What a great summit, absolutely fabulous. Again, all the views, seeing where we've been in the last few days. Thoroughly enjoyed the climb. Now the hidden surprise is the drop off of Ben Creachan. When you follow the ridge down ever so slightly, and then you hang a left and you drop into this gorgeous glen with a massive lochen, and it's really stunning, really picturesque. You pick up the burn which is fed by the lochen, and you follow it all the way down to the railway line. Now I actually went a different way than I'd intended to at this point, because I didn't realise I could get under the railway line there. So I did, and I made a river crossing and got onto the track, which took me pretty much all the way back to the car. Although I'd intended doing a bit of higgery-pokery and following this side of the railway line for quite some time before I crossed, and then I have to get back over to the same track. So it just seemed to make sense to me. Whilst I could get under the railway line and there was a sign saying footpath, I decided to take it. Wow, quite a long day, 18.5 miles. There's 5,506 feet of ascent, a lot of ascent, and it took me 10 hours. So it's a full day out.